Hey, yeah, it's Don. I'm the director of fun, you know it. And I've been out having fun walking around the airport down here in Montrose, Colorado. Why? Well, I'm gonna tell you about that right after, uh, you know, the thing. But you don't want to miss it. Had some good insights today, and I had to share them on a Facebook Live, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to see what it is. It's not a bragging or a boasting thing. It has a lot to do with the choices we make and how they work out and what can we do about them. So stand by. We're going to get on it. Hey, how we doing? Yeah, it's Don, the director of fun, and I am out here at a small municipal airport in Montrose, Colorado. I picked the airport just to do a video for training. How are we doing?
For what?
Oh, for people in business and teaching them how to make money. So that's what I do.
Okay.
So why am I at the airport? Well, you ever wondered about the choices you make in life and what they may or may not have done to you or for you, or where life could be as a result of that? Well, some people never think about that. And then sometimes as you go through life, things kind of change. There's the airport right there behind me. And you get to wondering, I wonder what life would have been like had I done things differently. So when you're going through that process, well, it can get you thinking. It could make you go get a downer, right? Or it could build you up depending on where you've been. Let me tell you a little bit about me and my story. So there was a time when I was much younger that I was pretty aggressive. And I've done a lot of things in my life and had a lot of opportunity to do things that most people have never even tried. And I've blown a few of those. We'll talk about those someday. And I've had some successes in them. One of those was I was a young man and always kind of wanted to do flying, and got the ability to get go to flight school when I was a teenager. My parents set that up for me as a pretty nice thing to do. And what I do, I blew that to go hang out with some girl. Never went to the classes. Well, that was kind of dumb because I didn't get my license. Then joined the Army. Did get my license. I flew helicopters for a bit. Now, there's nothing, and I do mean nothing, like the feeling and power of taking and picking up an aircraft, a helicopter, like a Huey or a Bell 207. Hey Bernard, how we doing? Or some type of helicopter, picking it up 3 feet off the ground and just sitting there and being in complete control. Nice hello. Hey Debbie, how we doing? So when you're sitting there at the controls of a helicopter and you're just hovering and you're in complete control, it's invigorating, it's power. And then all of a sudden you put your cyclic forward and you give it a little bit of boost from the throttle and you take off. And you're just hovering down the runway, no wheels on the ground, you're just hovering and you're headed down there, and then it goes through what's called translational lift. It's where the aircraft shudders a little bit as it's going from a hover mode to a flight mode. As it takes off and gets up into the air, it gathers speed and then it stabilizes back out. Well, life can be that way. One of the choices I made after having that cost me my license for a while. Now, I'm going to get it back this year. It cost me my license because of my own choice. We can go into the stories of that at another time. But what's that mean for you? What am I trying to get at? Well, the reality is when we make choices, it can change the destination of our life. Now, later on, I got out of the military and I have run companies, owned companies. I've had times where we made what I considered at the time great money. Um, we weren't king of the hills, I like to say, but we definitely weren't hurting. And when the recession hit, we kind of got caught with our pants down, like a lot of folks. And boy, it was timing. And all of a sudden, we went from having a very nice life to literally starting over in my daughter's basement and having to figure it out. And I let that get to my head, another bad choice. And I spent the last 8 years doing things that were not beneficial as far as getting ahead. I mean, they were paying the bills, but I was gone all the time. Been to the oil fields, been around the country, different jobs. And then I decided, you know what, you had to get things back. So about a year ago, I started working and training and learning, and I do mean learning, because there's a lot to learn with doing sales online compared to what I used to do when I ran my companies. And in that process, I got back what I used to have. Now, do I have all the money yet? I've got some coming in. Don't kid me. I got some. Do I have what I had? No. Will I? No, because I'm going to have a lot more. I'm 59 years old, a couple of months ago, and I'm getting it kicking in, and I'm getting it going. I'm going to get my license back to fly helicopters, because I love to be in the air. I've not only flown them, I've jumped out of them, jumped out of planes and all that kind of stuff. Although my wife says I'm a little old to be doing some of that now. Hey Ezra, how we doing? So, why am I talking about my life? Well, I want people to know that, you know what, you can make mistakes along life and you can lose some things like I have. But you can even let it pull you down into the dumpster like I did for a while. And it really did. You can pull yourself out. It's here. And you can go to work and you can make some things happen. And then if you're able to line in with tools like I was fortunate enough to find, and I helped other people do, it's why they love it, it just takes on another life. So going back to the helicopter thing, you get in, you're sitting down and you're flying. If you don't have the right tools to be able to fly that and map it out and figure out where you're going and got the amount of fuel that you need, you're not necessarily going to hit your destination. And if you're a pilot, well, do you really want to trust somebody else to do that for you, or do you want to make sure it's done right yourself? And that's the problem I have with a lot of these businesses. They'll say, well, hey, we'll just do it all for you. Just trust us. Really? Not happening. So I started learning the tools. I started learning procedures, and I started learning how to put things together. And it started taking on a life of its own. And now I share that with people. In fact, if you're catching this on YouTube, you can click on the link below and it'll take you to some of that information. Glad to help you get started, because it'll change your life. And that's regardless of whatever service or product you're marketing, because it fits in so that it will probably take you 10 times or more what you're currently doing. And I can show you interviews with people that's worked with. Make a decision to not be what you've been if you went bad. And if you've had good all your life, awesome. Get better. See, this year in 2020, I'll be back to about 90% of the income I used to have, or more. I'll have my license back to fly helicopters. I will have a few other things for my wife and for my family. And I have some really nice tomahawk steaks on my smoker. But did it come easy? No. This last year, I started with a particular group and company. I'm still with them, but it's not my main focus. I kind of made some changes. Now it's just part of the residual income by default, because I learned how to make big commissions up front, and by default those generate passive and residual incomes, and that's pretty cool. Anyway, get out and make some choices. Choices is what our life is about. You could choose to stay where you're at, or you can choose to get off the ground and be something more than you ever thought. By the time I hit 60, 10 months from now, I'm going to have accomplished more than I've ever done in my whole entire life. What are you doing at your age? I know one guy on here is about, 39? You can get out and get it. And I don't mean just in the health. I mean in the finances and family and all the other things that are important. So here's the gist of this live. Get out and make choices. Find the education that you need that will jumpstart you and move you. If you want some help in that, I can help guide you, because I've got some stuff that's really working. But more importantly, make a difference. Don't settle for little bits. Don't settle for something where you've got to rely on everybody else in order to be successful and have what you're after. Figure out what it is that you want. I can help you get there. But whether you choose to work with me or not, hey Shyla, how we doing? Whether you choose to work with me or not, get out there and do something and make a difference with your life. If at 59 I can get back to flying, if at 59 I can get back to doing some other things, which I'm not going to put on here because my wife will tell me I'm too old to do it, but I'm still going back to doing it. What can you do? And I'm going to double my income. And I will tell you that before everything went south and then I let it get in my head, I was generating anywhere from, well, multiple 5 figures a month in income. Let's just leave it at that. And I'm going to surpass that over the next 10 months. What are you going to do? Join me, be a part of it. That's awesome. But do it on your own. That's awesome. But do something. Don't let life get in the way of you accomplishing everything you're looking for. Hey Greg, how we doing? Glad you stopped in, because you can get out and do this, and I've done it before, and now I'm having to do it again. This is actually the 3rd time I'm ramping up and running. Once when I did it through the, let's get right after the after this, Shyla. Once when I was young and did it through the military, and then ran my own businesses. And then when I went out of the self-employed and running my own businesses into the entrepreneur true set, wow, it rocked. And then because I got caught with my pants down, I let it get to me, and I sunk, and I climbed inside my own head. Well, I'm out of my own head. Things are growing, and I'm going to do this again. And I want to be an example and show people how you can do it, how you can grow. And if you want to jump on the bandwagon with me, let's go, because I'm already moving. And it may be a little tough to keep up sometimes. Right, Shyla? I'm pretty much nonstop. So that's what I've got for tonight. Hey, listen, you see this on YouTube? Do me a favor and hit the like, or if you're watching it on Facebook, hit the like. If you've got comments and remarks, leave them in there. Let me know where you're from. If you're catching on YouTube, I wouldn't mind it if you subscribe, because I've got some pretty cool stuff coming out, and I'd like you to take advantage of it. More importantly, I'd like your feedback, because, you know, that's how I grow too. So have a good night. This is the Director of Fun, and I like to have fun. I, like I said, have done more things in my life than most people have got to do, and I'm still out there. I'm still getting it done, and I am on it. Oh, and I do like to eat, and I've got some cheesecake, strawberry, well, it's a berry, strawberry, blueberry, and a few other good things in there. Hi, Karma. And so I've got to get on it to get that eaten. Director of Fun says, if you're not doing this to go out and have a life, why do it? The idea is to get out there and do something fun, and get out there and be a part of life. Go out and do things you never thought you could do. Cliff diving rocks, by the way. Y'all have a good night. Chat with you soon. Director of Fun saying, I gotta go, and I'm getting all these messages.